Sydney. 1996's film Scream is one of the best slasher films ever made and single-handedly revitalized a otherwise dying genre. Naturally, it was followed by many sequels, and to be honest, most of them are either really good or at least decent. But you know how it is with these franchises. The more films they make, the worse they get. Now, this past weekend gave us the release of Scream 7. So what do we have here? Is this another in the long line of successful films in this franchise? I mean, let's be honest, it's probably going to make a lot of money. They generally do. But is this movie a sign that this franchise is getting old and stale and might be time to put it out to pasture? Well, before we answer that, let's talk a little bit about the plot to the film Scream 7.
Let's have a talk with him, shall we?
Scream 7 begins like all Scream movies do, with a really awesome killing scene. Then we flash to Sidney Prescott. She lives in Indiana. She's built a new life for herself with her husband Mark and her daughter, trying to put the past behind us. But it seems the past is not yet done with our girl Sidney. She receives a phone call from none other than Ghostface, of course, but with a bit of a twist. This time, Ghostface is claiming to be Stu, who we saw killed in the first movie. So now Ghostface is back, but is it actually Stu? And as the killings begin and the body count rises, Sidney must protect her family and figure out who this actually is. Is it Stu or is it somebody else? And of course, Gale Weathers is there as well along for the ride. So what works in this film? Well, Neve Campbell, she proves once again that she is the backbone of this franchise. I think that's something that was really missing in the last film. She wasn't in Scream 6. She brings a grounded weariness to Sidney, equal parts resilient and exhausted, which feels honest, after, surviving all these movies worth of serial killers. Campbell manages to elevate even the clunkiest exposition with real emotional weight. And then there's Courtney Cox, who continues to make Gale Weathers the most entertaining, relentless journalist in cinematic history. Cox leans into Gale's sharp edges with confidence and wit. Even when the script gives her predictable beats, she snaps them into shape with timing that reminds you why she's been essential to this series from day one.
Love a good scare.
Also, the killings are pretty ingenious. You would expect that in a slasher film, but sometimes with these franchises, when they go on, the killings become a little bit more ridiculous. These are as realistic as serial killer killings can go. Lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of fun for genre fans.
So what's the bad news?
What doesn't work in this film is, unfortunately, the supporting characters feel less like people and more like potential body counts waiting politely for their cue. Most of them are sketched in what, would be a single trait: brooding, sarcastic, tech-savvy, and left there. When the film attempts emotional stakes involving them, it's really hard to care because we barely know who they are beyond their likelihood of getting stabbed. It's not that the actors are bad. They're just really not given much to work with. They're given the narrative equivalent of a sticky note instead of a backstory. And then there's the ending. After all the build-up, red herrings, and dramatic confrontations, the final reveal lands with a soft thud. It's so underwhelming. To me, it's the worst reveal of this series. The motivations feel thin, the confrontation feels rushed, and the supposed shock factor barely registers. I mean, for a franchise that built its reputation on clever twists, This climax feels more like a shrug than a scream. Still, Scream 7 isn't without its charms. The self-referential humor still works in bursts, and the legacy performances carry the movie through its weaker stretches. It's a sequel that survives mostly on the strength of its veterans, much like Sidney herself. Is it the sharpest entry in the franchise? Not exactly. But if you made it to 7, you're probably here out of loyalty. And at least this time, the loyalty is rewarded with 2 excellent lead performances, even if the final act forgot to bring a knife to its own knife fight. So has this franchise fallen off the tracks? Not exactly, but it's wobbling. I'm sure this is going to make a ton of money because they always do. I know my theater was sold out. But I think this franchise is starting to run out of gas.
No, it's not bad, but it's not great either, is it?
Well, that's all I have for you this week. Tune in next week where I give you my thoughts and feelings on whatever I've seen. In the meantime, click that like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a question, share this video with friends and enemies alike, and as always, thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I'll see you next week. Take care.